Hi, I hope you're well. This is part of my Pilates for Runners series, so mat sessions, short and sweet, that you can just fit in around your running week. The theme of this session is stability and strength, and we're going to be specifically, or particularly, I should say, looking at the way that your body stabilizes and supports you when you try and throw it off center, or where you're working with one side of your body only, and how the rest of the body works to hold you and keep you stable. Which is really important for runners because obviously you're doing loads of pushing off one leg at a time. Everything else has to work to keep you controlled. So without further ado, we're going to come down to the mats. So we're going to come to lie down on our backs. We're going to start with some pelvic curls. So first things first, you want to check that you're in a neutral pelvis. So if you don't know how to do that, you want your hip bones, your pubic bone level with one another. We're not imprinting the lower back into the mat here. You want to draw your rib cage down without changing the position of your pelvis. Your feet and knees are about a fist distance apart from one another, and your feet are not too far away from you. So when I lift my chest, I can just about touch my heels. Bear in mind that will change depending on your proportions. I've got long arms, so it might be different for you. So first thing, I want you to press your arms down, and I want you to feel the weight of your feet on the mat. Think of your feet like tripods. So the big toe, little toe, and heel of each foot are really taking the weight evenly. You're pressing down through all parts. We're not rolling out. We're not pressing into the heels and letting the toes just do their own thing. It's all connected. Take a breath in here. And then as you exhale, press your lower back down into the mat, curl your tailbone upwards, so feel your lower abdominals switch on. Now start to peel your spine up off the mat, one vertebra at a time. Thinking of the hamstrings and inner thighs working here. Inner thighs are working to stop your knees opening wide. Back of the legs are working to push you up. Glutes are supporting you. Inhale at the top. And then as you exhale and roll down, keep your tailbone curled to the ceiling. You'll feel your abdominals really working to do that. Finding neutral at the very last moment. We go again. Exhale, curling up. Really press into your feet. One vertebra at a time lifts off the mat. Press your arms down. Maximize that posterior tilt at the top, so that sense that your tailbone is trying to curl up to the ceiling. And then exhale, roll down through your upper back, your mid back, your lower back, finding neutral at the bottom. We're going to do two more. Inhale to prepare, then exhale, curling up. Just checking in on those feet. Keep pressing into them evenly. If you feel any toes wanting to wiggle, just have a word with them, get them heavy. Exhale to roll back down. One bone at a time. It sinks into the mat. Finding neutral. Lovely. Last one. Breath in. And exhale to peel off. Lifting, strong in the back of your legs, keeping the knees at that fist distance. Now hold at the top here. Now this is where you might want to adjust your position. If you feel like it's a bit tricky holding here, you ideally want your feet underneath your knees. So you might just need to have a little wiggle around to find the right spot. I want you to feel like you can lengthen your tailbone even more towards your knees. Let the ribs be soft. And I want you to now keep the pelvis still. As you exhale, you're going to push into the balls of your feet to lift your heels up. You're going to inhale to articulate through the feet to sink the heels back down. No movement through the pelvis. And again, exhale, push up. Inhale, back down. We're going to do that 4 more times. Really controlling it. Every time you lift and lower the heels, we're not letting the tailbone release. We're keeping the pelvis in that posterior tilt. Inhale. And again. Inhale down. We've got one more round of this. Inhale, sink down. And then keep the heels down. As you inhale, let your right hip drop slightly. So you relax the right glute. And then you exhale, activate that right glute again to re-stabilize. So your hips are now level. Same to the left. Let the left hip drop slightly. Exhale, push it back up. Inhale, right hip. Exhale, lift. So you're tilting side to side. Inhale, left hip. Exhale, lift. Got 3 more sets of this. Pushing up and to the left. Exhale, 2 more sets. Really bringing awareness to all that work in the glutes. That's bringing you up here. Last set, 1 more each way. Exhale. Last one to the left. Exhale to lift. Really curl the tailbone even more. Now we're going to stay here for a moment longer. Press into your feet, press into your arms, get everything supporting you. You're now going to bring that right leg into tabletop. We're going to keep the leg in that position, so you bent knee. You're going to inhale, hinge at the hip to tap your toes down to the mat. Exhale to lift. You've got 4 more. Inhale to tap. Exhale to lift. Keeping the hips level as you move, not letting that right hip lift or drop. Last one. And lift. Place the right foot down. Just re-stabilize in the center. Get both legs strong. Check that your hips are level. And then we are going to go into the left. So just get your glutes working. Bring your left leg into tabletop. No movement through your pelvis now as you hinge at the hip to tap the toes down. Exhale, lift. 4 more. Exhale. 3 more. Exhale, lift. Final 2. And lift. Last one. And lift. Place the left toes down on the heel. And then I want you to curl your tailbone even more. Breath in. And then exhale. Roll your spine down. 1 vertebra at a time. Finding neutral at the bottom. Probably really feeling your glutes, and that's a good thing. Okay, I want you to reach your arms up to the ceiling. Fingers are reaching up, palms are facing towards the wall in front of you, towards your feet. Keep your arms lifted up, draw your abdominals down, bring your right leg into tabletop, left leg into tabletop, inner thighs squeeze together. Now draw your abdominals down here, but we're not pressing the lower back down. I want you to feel as though there is still weight in your pelvis. So if you were to put your hands underneath your bum, you'd feel the tailbone pressing down into them. So now, keeping all that control in your center, reach your arms back behind you, fingertips reaching to the wall behind, ribs are still connected, your legs are going to stay in tabletop, your abdominals are drawing down. Take a breath in. We're going to exhale and lift the head, neck, chest. Reach your arms forward, fingertips reach to the wall in front of you. We're in 100 prep. Keep your chest lifted now as you inhale. Start floating your arms up when they're level with your knees. Chest follows down. Arms come with you. We're back at the beginning. We go again. Exhale, lift. Inhale as the arms lift up, chest stays lifted. Then we bring it all together. Last one of these. Exhale. Inhale, arms. Chest follows down. Next time we lift, we're going to straighten the knees into the 100. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, curl your chest forward, straighten the legs. Now, the height that you're at depends on how connected you are in your lower back. If you feel like you can't control it, you go higher. You can stay in tabletop. I want you to really reach your fingers to the wall in front of you. Pull your ribs down and forward. Breath in. We're going to exhale, start pumping your arms. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Using your arms to throw you off center. Inhale. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, but we want to stay stable in the center. Inhale, you've got 3 more sets of breath after this. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, next set's the final set. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. Knees into tabletop, arms up, head, neck, chest down. Circle your arms around to the sides of the body, press them down. Stretch your left leg all the way away. Stretch your right leg up, heels to the ceiling. If you're feeling tight in the leg, you can have a bent knee. Just think of pushing your heel upwards above your hip joint, in which case bring the knee in a little bit. Otherwise, straight leg. Press your arms down. I want you to again just take a moment to feel the weight of your ribs on the mat, drawing your abdominals down. We want the hips to stay still and heavy. Find a downward push in the leg that's long, reaching down into the mat. Now, as you inhale, you're going to circle your top leg across the body, around and back up with a drop and catch motion. Exhale, around and back up. Alternating breaths for each circle. And as you move, the leg is trying to throw you off center. You're using your abdominals, your arms, your hip extensors to keep you still. Last one. Pause at the top, we reverse it. We've got 8 the other direction. Inhale, away, around and back up. Exhale. Every time the leg moves away from the center line, you want to focus on keeping the opposite hip down. We've got 3 more. And inhale. Last one. Pause, point toes to ceiling, bend the knee to tabletop, stretch the leg away. Glide the left foot in, bring the leg into tabletop, stretch it up. Same applies if you feel tighter on this side, you can modify as needed. Push your heel up, find that length in the back of your leg, find a downward push in your right leg, reach long into your right toes that are on the mat. And now we're going to inhale, circle across the body, around and back up. Exhale. Just like the first side, thinking of everything apart from the moving leg being as still as possible. And exhale, you've got 2 more. And last one. Pause, reverse it. And here you can go smaller with the circle. You can also go slower. Whatever you need to do so that you can control it. If going fast and large throws you off, just dial it back. 2 more. And exhale. Hold, point your toes to ceiling, bend the knee to tabletop, stretch the leg away. Really good, just have a moment there. And then bring your knees into your chest. Take a really quick rock side to side. And then we're gonna rock up to seated. Sitting in the middle of the mat, stretch your legs in front of you, flexed feet. Now we're gonna sit upright. If this is tricky with your hip flexors, you can have bent knees, that's fine. You can also sit on a cushion or a couple of yoga blocks. You can also sit on a chair if it's really not feeling good. I want your heels to be pushing away from you, and imagine you're sitting against a wall. Your arms are reaching forward, your back muscles are working, so we're not kind of like relaxed here. Take a breath in, your heels stay pushing forward, relax the toes. And then you exhale to nod your chin forward and start to roll your spine forward and down like you've got a beach ball underneath your chest. You're reaching your fingertips forward as you pull your ribs back. Breath in at the bottom. And then exhale to restack up, thinking of your abdominals and your back extensors working together to elongate and lift you back up. We're going to do 2 more. Spine stretch. Inhale and exhale to roll. Again, finding that sense of opposition. So you're reaching forward and pulling back from your waist at the same time. Breath in and exhale to lift. 1 vertebra at a time, restacks upwards. Collarbones wide. We're going to stay at the bottom of the next one. Inhale and exhale to roll. Reaching, pulling back, and then hold. So from here, I want you to now, I'm going to move my hair out of the way so you can see what's going on a bit more. So we're really rounded at the moment. I want you to now try and stretch your spine and find a flat back. So you'll need to come higher. If you notice, I've come a lot higher. Try and get your arms beside your ears and think of trying to stretch your head, crown of your head away from your tailbone. Now keeping this diagonal line in your body, we're going to start to pulse the arms back to the count of 10, 9, 8, keep lifting the chest, keep stretching through the mid-back, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then exhale, round forward. That will feel like a relief. Big breath in here, and then exhale to restack the spine. Nice and tall. Okay, we're going to stay upright. I'm going to just bring the legs together. So again, like I said before, if you're starting to feel your hip flexors a bit too much, just modify as needs be. Your feet are still flexed, they are together. We want to keep the lower body as still as possible now. We're going to do spine twist. You're going to interlace your fingers right to the webbing and bring the hands behind your head. Elbows are in your peripheral vision. And I want you to think of just spiraling your spine upwards, keeping the pelvis heavy. You're going to take a breath in. And then from your waist, you're going to exhale to rotate your chest towards the right and then go a little bit further in that rotation. Then inhale back to the center. Exhale to the left, then go a little bit further. Inhale back. We're going to speed it up a bit. Inhale, center to the left. Inhale, center. Each time you rotate, think of spiraling your spine upwards, growing taller. Exhale. Inhale, center to the left. Inhale, center. One more each way with the hands behind the head like this. And then coming to the center. We're going to do 2 more sets. Option to open your arms wide to a T position. Palms to the ceiling. Imagine you've got a pole strapped to the back of your arms. They can't move forward. They can't wiggle about. They are fixed at that width. You're going to exhale to the right. Inhale, center. To the left. Inhale, center. One more each way. Again, keeping the lower body still, rotating through the waist. If you do this properly, it feels hard. Reach your arms forward, point your toes, draw your abdominals back, find what we call a C curve. So you round it here, nice and tall. Take a breath in, and then exhale to roll your spine down to the mat. You'll just bring your arms to the sides of the body because we're now going to just turn onto our sides. So if you turn, I'm going to turn onto my right side because that's where I've landed. And then you're going to come to balance on your bottom forearm. If you want a challenge, I'll offer that in a second. If you're on the forearm, you want to just check things first that your body, shoulder, elbow are all in a straight line, head as well. And then we want the elbow underneath your shoulder. If you notice here, I'm just relaxing for a moment. I'm now going to actively push the ground away. And you want to try and think about both sides of your waist being the same length. The head is in line with the spine. So that's option 1. You've also got the option to bring your hand down on the mat in front of you or to your hip, whatever you need to do. Option 2, to progress it, full version, you balance on your bottom elbow, so the elbow will be a little bit further away. Fingertips are just lightly behind your ear, like so. And same thing, so you're pulling up out of the bottom shoulder, top hands behind the head. Now we want to keep the upper body as still as possible. Lift the top leg to hip height. Flex the foot, side kick. You're going to exhale to kick the leg forward and then go a little bit further at the front. Point the toe, kick it back. We exhale forward. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Inhale back. As the leg moves, we're focusing on the obliques, keeping you nice and controlled through the waist. I didn't get my words then. Keeping that pull up through the shoulder. We want to minimize the swing back and forth through the torso. Inhale back. Last set. Inhale back. And then bring the leg to hip height. Lower it down. Bend the knees. Push the ground away. And then we're going to come into some quadruped work before we go to side 2. So we're going to have the hands underneath the knees. Sorry, hands underneath the shoulders, not underneath the knees. That would be a very difficult way of doing this exercise. And your knees are going to be underneath your hips. Now, I want you to just find a really strong position here. So to do that, what we're thinking a straight line from the crown of your head to your tailbone. Your abdominals are drawing up. You're pushing into your fingertips as well as the heels of your hands. You're not just dumping into the wrists. We want to think of the shoulder blades sliding down your back, and they're wide on your back. We are not pushing up, if you notice the difference. Your abdominals stay pulling up from the mat. Now, most important thing, think about your pelvis. At the moment, in this position, your hips should be square. So they should be level with one another. They should both be pointing downwards. Through all of this work in quadruped today, we want to keep that same position. It's going to be really tempting to let the hips lift and drop and open. We want to rein that in. Okay, so from here, I'm going to start with my left leg because that's the leg we were just working, and it's also visible on the camera. So keeping your left knee bent, let me just move my hair out the way. You're going to point your left toes and you're going to glide from the hip joint, lift the left leg up, toes to the ceiling, but only as high as that left hip doesn't need to lift. And then you inhale, hinge it back down. We go again, hinging from the hip. Exhale, glute and hamstring is picking that leg up. Inhale, back down. We've just got 4 more. Exhale. Inhale, down. 3 more. Exhale, sliding. Inhale, down. Final 2. Inhale, down. Last one. Inhale down. We're going to stay working on that side. So from here, all that stability in your center. Same thing with the hips. You're now going to open that leg outwards to the side in line with the other knee, like you're opening a window. Inhale, glide it back in. Again, not letting the hip open with you. So you're only going to open the knee outwards as much as you can without the hip lifting. It'll be smaller than you think. 3 more here. Exhale every time you open. Inhale back. 2 more. This always makes me shake. Inhale back. Last one. So much work going on through your lats, through your obliques, everything. Now hold here. We've got one more thing in the series. We're going to now stretch that leg away. The knee is totally straight. Your toes are pointed. They are just resting lightly on the mat. Checking that your hips are square again. And then we're going to lift the leg up straight from the hip, only as high as it can go without the hip lifting, or your back bending to compromise. Inhale, tap back down, or compensate, sorry, that's the right word. Exhale to lift. Really thinking about the glute now. Inhale down, we've got 4 more. Exhale. Inhale down, think of reaching long into that leg. Inhale down. Exhale. Inhale down, last one. Inhale down, bend the knee, bring it in. Sit back on your heels and then swing your legs around to the second side, the side kick. So where you were before, either being on your forearm with your palm pressing down or on your elbow. Bear in mind it can feel different from one side to the other as well. So where you were on the first side might not be the same for the second side. That is the joy and mystery of human bodies. Just go with it. Treat all of it like an exploration. Okay, so top hand behind your head. I do not feel stable on this side today. Wowee. All right, so from there, I want to think of all that work in your lower part of your waist. Pulling up, lift the top leg to hip height, flex the foot. We've got 8 reps. Exhale forward. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Inhale back. We flex the foot forward. Inhale back. Exhale. Inhale back. 4 more sets here. Again, trying to minimize any movement in your upper body. The top leg is working its hardest to throw in everything off, but we are trying to resist it. Inhale back. And then bring the leg into the center. Lower it down. Bend your knees. Push the ground away. And we come back into our 4-point kneeling position. Hands underneath the shoulders, not underneath the knees, as I said before. And then we want to, again, find that strong quadruped position. Just checking that everything is really stable before we start to disrupt and move things. So also thinking of pressing your shins down, the top of your feet down. Get your shoulders supporting you. So maybe just let them relax for a moment, then really push the ground away. Once you feel ready, the toes are pointed, hinging from your right hip now, keeping the hips square. You're going to exhale, lift up. Toes trying to reach for the ceiling, but only as far as the hip stays level with the left. Exhale. Inhale down. We've got 6 here. Bent knee, really thinking of the hamstring working. Exhale. Inhale down. 2 more. Every time the knee comes down, you should feel it glide along the mat. If you don't, that means that your hip has unfortunately lifted. Done a little cheat for you. Okay, hold in the center. Now we're going to keep the knee bent. We're going to exhale to open the knee out to the side. Inhale back. Again, we are not letting the right hip lift. We're trying to keep everything else totally square. Inhale. Again, loads and loads of side body work here to support you through this. 2 more. Inhale. Last one. Inhale, again, I am shaking. Something about that specific exercise that always gets me. Stretch your leg away, your toes are pointed, draw your abdominals up. Think of a straight line from your hip to your toes, and then we're going to pick that whole thing up from the glute and the hamstring. Inhale, tap back down. We've got 5 more. Keeping your lower back still. Inhale down. It's all coming from the glute and the back of the leg. Exhale. Inhale down. 2 more. Inhale, last one. Inhale down. Glide the knee in. Sit back on your heels. And we are going to just shake out the wrists for a moment. Just do a few circles one way, a few circles the other way. I hope you're feeling good. We're going to now swing the legs around. We are going to do a little bit more work on the wrists. So if this isn't feeling good, just bend your wrist the other way so your fingertips are reaching behind you. Push the heels of the, push into the knuckles to push your hands forward and just stretch. And then when you're ready, back support. So your feet are going to be a fist distance apart. We're sitting upright. Your hands are shoulder width, but they're slightly behind the line of the shoulders. So you should feel like you're kind of relaxed. You're kind of almost slumping into this position. Your fingertips are ideally reaching towards your toes. If that doesn't feel good, open them. And also just caveat, if you've ever dislocated your shoulder, this is not an exercise for you. Please skip it. Okay, so first things first, I want you to straighten your elbows, lift your chest. You'll feel like you're really artificially lifting up now. That's fine. I want you to keep all that sense of opening through your chest. And I want you to now find a slight downward push on your heels. And now we're going to think again, glutes and hamstrings. You're going to push your hips up, find a straight line from the crown of your head to your toes, look to the ceiling. Now keep your elbows straight to inhale and tap your hips down. So you soften the glutes and then you exhale, push back up. Inhale to tap. Exhale to lift. We've just got 3 more. Exhale, lift, pushing. 2 more. The whole back body is supporting you here. Last one. And lift. And then inhale, come back down for the final time. Relax. Soften your elbows. Again, just stretch your arms forward and just give those wrists a bit of love. And then while you're just stretching your wrists, I'm going to unclip my mic so we can come into the final bit of work. Yeah. So you will come and lie down on your front. You'll have your fingers interlaced at the center of your mat. Your elbows are going to be underneath your shoulders. I forgot the word for shoulders then. That's good. Okay, and then we've got the legs narrow. They're not squeezed together, but they're close together. Let your upper body just relax for a moment, okay? First thing, I want you to just think of lengthening your tailbone towards your toes. Draw your abdominals up. Second thing, I want you to really actively now push the ground away with your forearms and your elbows. I want you to think of pushing your chest forward and up. Now you're going to keep your chest lifted. If you can, keep your fingers interlaced. If you need to do this for a second, what we do in a second, if you need to, just separate the fingers and make 2 small fists next to one another. Now, I want you to press into your hands to float your elbows up. Find a bit more lift in your chest. Now, keep that lift in your chest to float the elbows back down, and we're going to stay there. Now, I've got loads of work. Keep your upper body still as much as you can. You're now going to use the back of your legs to float your legs off the mat. Your toes are trying to reach for the wall behind you. You're going to now kick your right foot towards your glute with a double pulse. Then left. And then right. And left. And you want to keep the legs floating off the mat when they're straight, but alternating the legs simultaneously. Keep pushing your breastbone up and forward. Keep drawing your abdominals up. It's an exhale for 2, and an inhale for 2, and an exhale for 2, and an inhale for 2. 2 more sets, and last set. And then stretch both legs away, lower the legs, lower the chest, and push back into a rest position, which is where we'll finish this session. Short but strong, really strong work here. So just really reach long into your toes, into your fingers, stretching out your back. Just take a few rounds of breath here, really deeply breathing into the back of your ribs. And exhale to release. And again, inhale, expanding. And exhale to release. Last round of breath. And exhale. And then keep your head down. Walk your hands towards your knees. Gently push the ground away to roll yourself up to seated. And we're all done for the session. I hope you enjoyed it. Some strong work, as I said, and you'll have seen that some challenging work even for me as well. So we all are in this together. As usual, if you have any questions, let me know. This is part of a series, as I said, so there are other videos in this. And I also have an on-demand library that has over 250 videos in it. So if you enjoyed this, there's lots more to get stuck into. I'll leave the details in the link below and hope to see you in a session soon.